Hello model kit builders. I am currently building 30 model kits all simultaneously because I don't want to paint everything 30 different times. They're not real model kits. They're those egg planes, deformed egg planes, so they're not serious things. But I went and bought these Dspiae foamed backed sandpapers, and these are the only four I've been, well, technically this fifth one I cut into smaller pieces. So 30 different model kits, the nubs, and also putting putty into seams and sanding off the seams. So I gotta say, these are worth the money for sure. They're quite durable. You can use them dry or wet sanding. I've done both on these, and they work. So eventually though, this 600 is pretty much the grit I'm gonna use before I paint stuff. Sometimes I'll go to 800. But you don't want to use 400 because it's too rough, when you paint stuff. So 600 I think will probably be okay. But you can see how it kinked here. So this is a good example of cutting. So the ease of cutting this stuff is quite easy, right? Bear in mind you're going to dull the scissors a little bit. So now I took the kink out, and now I'm back to nice flat sandpaper. It is starting to delaminate. I've wet sanded several models with this, so but I gotta say, quite durable. So I've only used like one, two, and two amongst 30 deformed airplane model kits. So that's a lot of nubs, a lot of edges and stuff like that. So I thought, why not? Those are so good. Why don't I just try the flat ones? So here we have a brand new set, 120 pieces. There's 6 grits, and they're 75 by 25 millimeters, 400, 600. And then we're getting into really fine, like, polishing things. So I probably will never use above 800 myself. I don't know what I'm going to polish, but you never know. As usual, Dspiae has nice packaging, so if you have someone that you know that really likes making models, this is kind of a good brand to gift to them for their birthday or the holidays. Alright, but it's, at the same time, expensive packaging. But in this case, this paper, I don't know, it seems okay, I guess. And so it has some stickers to tell you what grit is going to be on those handles, I think, but the actual sandpaper, you can see 406, all the numbers are actually printed on there, so that's nice. It's got a hanging hook of all things, so I guess you want to store them. And look at this is interesting. The bases have holes in them. I think this might be modular. I think you could literally take this off, right? And they're basically snapping into each other. So I suppose you could just get another set and snap it on here and then have even more. I don't know why they wouldn't have made this kind of system for both of these, so you have one line of them. Interesting. So what works for me then, I'm going to take these 3 and just put them somewhere else because I probably won't use them too often. It's these I'm going to use. Rapid sanding, 400, 600 for finishing and painting, and then possibly 800 if I want a really smooth finish, airbrushing smooth things. Alright, so it's adhesive backed already, and it's quite obvious what grit that you have, so that's nice. This actual handle here, sorry, it's like a plastic thing, so it's already a little bit scratched up. So it has like a 90-degree edge. Hopefully you can see there. It's not chamfered or anything like I've seen on other ones. The plastic handle has a brand in it, and holding it wise seems okay. You could do this. Well, we'll have to see. So let's see how easy it is to get this backing off and put it on. Okay. So this is not wet sandpaper, I don't think. Maybe I'll pause and go back. I want to see. Alright, I'm basically doing this edge first because I want to center it. Okay. So I gotta say, I'm not sure if it's a little bit smaller than the plastic base. No, maybe I didn't apply it perfectly. Unfortunately, it's already done, so I'll have to try better on the next one. Luckily 400 grit's not so important to me. It's rough sanding. This one is a little more important. So let's take, the backing is pretty easy to take off. Oh, look at this. This isn't good. The sticky part is on the backing. It's not on the sandpaper. It just came off the sandpaper. Let's see if I can save it. I'm going to put this onto this. This will not be aligned very well either. I'm going to use my fingers to lay it down. Press that down. Alright, so there we have some double-sided tape. And now, let's see if I can pull this backing off. Come on. I'm trying to not pull up the tape, you know, just to pull off the paper. But I'm not sure if it can be done with just finger. Oh, no, I did get it. I thought I might have to use tweezers, but I think I did it this time. Okay, so the tape is there, but you can see an air pocket right there. So now let's try to slap this on. Maybe you want to use 4 fingers. Align it like that. Okay. Well, I think I saved it. I don't think it's going to fall off, you know, unless it goes into like water, which I'm just reading the marketing stuff on the back. So it does say you don't want to wet sand it. Where does it say that? It is not recommended with water, so that's going to mess stuff up. Supposedly that double-sided tape is residue free, so hopefully you don't have to take like adhesive cleaner on the plastic. But I won't know until after I wear one out, which I probably won't do in this video. Alright, let me just get one more, the 800 out. And let's see if we can get it right this time. Maybe it'd be a good idea to just do this to make sure that backing is really stuck to the double-sided tape, right? Let's see if that makes a difference. Yeah, I don't know if I'm pulling the adhesive off. I am gonna try it with tweezers. See if that helps out. I just don't think most people are gonna take the time to tweeze off. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay, so the tape is on the sandpaper. Maybe it does help to squeeze it down first. And now I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to use 4 fingers to align with that plastic, like so. Okay, so it is quite similar in size. There's a little bit of black plastic showing here, but not here, so it could actually be the exact same size. It's good enough for me. What I like is, you know, since this is plastic, even if you didn't have sandpaper there, it probably won't scratch your model too badly. It won't gouge it like a metal piece would, but it still might. I don't know if this plastic is softer than most model kit plastic or not. So now let's see how easy it is to get these stickers off here, because I am going to label the handle. Although I guess you really don't need to, because it's quite color coded, right? The purple and the purple of the backing. But if you want to save money, you know, you could just buy your own sandpaper and some double-sided tape and then use a hobby knife to cut it to size. So if that was the case, then yes, that might explain why these stickers exist. You know, it's odd though, it doesn't really fit anything. Oh, maybe it's supposed to go right here. That's what it is. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's designed to fit this recess right here. It seems unnecessarily complex though. It's very difficult to get that in there. It seems excessively long. Yeah, that's not perfect, but I don't know if you want to go through that effort. I think it'd just be easier to do this. Hold on. because I don't really care about the appearance of my sanding blocks. Right? You could, well, I guess I should maybe flip it over just to keep it consistent. Anal retentiveness right there. So that I think works just as well, because if you're never going to wet sand these things, I don't think that sticker is going to fall off easily. I do kind of feel it just would have been easier maybe if they had a bigger recess and not the logo there. Maybe that logo could be molded in here and here, and it could still come out of a mold properly, but then you just have a big number up here. Or why not just literally just have 800 molded in, just like the logo itself. Well, anyways, so naturally you can obviously store these as they came already in there. So that's just some sanding. So I figured we might as well try to polish something. This 1000 grit still had a paper backing, but I just realized on the 1500 it's now a plastic sheet of some sort. There's no paper back here. So yeah, maybe this one you can actually wet sand, because you know, how can water ruin the plastic backing? I did it out of order, of course. So I did squeeze all the adhesive down, and so far no problems of it coming off the sandpaper. Yeah, same thing, so no problem. So this is plastic, it's not paper backed. I do question, I don't know if the color coding makes perfect sense, because it goes from sky blue to dark blue to aqua. I almost feel like maybe it should just be a super dark blue here or something. You can see here actually the air pockets here, so through this clear back, translucent backing, so you definitely want to get those pockets out, or it might it won't sand perfectly flat. Well, you know, if it's got air bubbles, right? You can see my skin is getting sanded. So that's got the paper backing. This is plastic again, and it's, I mean, it's quite smooth. It's almost has no abrasiveness whatsoever, this 1500. So you're getting close to polishing levels there. Okay, so let me just get these back in order. I also noticed the sticker had 280, which is actually yellow, and then I've never even used this 180. That would just destroy a model, I think. That's some seriously rough stuff. I did use this 280 though when I had really thick putty on seams, so it's quite effective for that. But you gotta be really careful of not actually cutting away your model with this kind of grit, whereas the 400 is getting a little harder to cut away your plastic model. Alright, so here we have a little test piece here. So you want to, if you've never sanded anything before, you want to start with the coarser grits first and then move your way up. It doesn't work the other way. Alright, so I guess here it's pretty clear. Right, so that's quite coarse, of course. The cat in the hat. 600. If you rattle can spray paint, I find that 600 is acceptable. Airbrushing though, maybe you do want to go up to 800. So now you can just feel and hear, you know, how much quieter it is as it gets smoother. So that's 800. Yeah, I think that'd be perfectly fine for airbrushing. If you go too smooth, the paint won't stick to it. So here, 1000. Here I get all the ridges even. I guess that's good enough. 1200. So you notice this is a curved surface I'm working on, and yet it seems okay. I think the sponges might be a little bit better. Alright, so that's physically smooth, but clearly it's cloudy. It's not transparent. At this point in time, you'd have to move into polishing compounds and, you know, polish it with a liquid paste kind of thing. And then you might actually get it smooth, but I haven't bought that. I don't even know if Dspiae makes that. I generally just use Tamiya extra fine polishing compound. Okay, well, so the advantage of using these, you know, flat blocks is you can really dig into something. For instance, if I want to really flatten this out, right, that's definitely not curved anymore. That's a flat edge, right? I almost wonder if you could just skip one. Go right to 800. Yeah, that's definitely a consistently smooth finish. So if you're pressed for time, you can just skip a grain. Okay, yeah, that's very smooth indeed. So I find that for me, I instinctively want to hold it with two fingers like this. Although this isn't bad either. It depends which way you're going to look at the model. Like right now I'm looking at this way and that seems fine. But if I'm holding the model perpendicular to my eyes, I kind of feel like I want to change it like this just because of the geometry of my hand. But whatever, I guess it's not that important. Whatever feels most comfortable to you, just go with it. So you might ask yourself then, why would you buy the sponges? I do think still the sponges might be a better investment if you can only buy one set. The reason why is I was sanding perfectly flat surfaces because this sponge is pretty thick. So it can, you know, still sand flat areas. See, if I hold it this way, it bends a little bit. But what I like about the sponges is you can bend it, you know, to conform this way, but also this way if you want to get into something or just only take off putty and not the plastic. That's what I found using these to be helpful for. Whereas this, I think eventually you're going to get through the putty, of course, but you're going to also start digging into the plastic model itself. So yeah, if I could only pick one, I think I would still steer more towards these, because also wet sanding is definitely safer for you instead of breathing in a bunch of plastic dust. I have a little like nail salon vacuum with a HEPA filter on top of it, and I always sand dry stuff on top of that so it sucks all the stuff into the filter instead of me breathing in a bunch of plastic. But wet sanding eliminates that whole thing entirely, but of course you have to dry your model off before you mess with it. Okay, anyways, I guess that's all I care to do right now. I won't really know for sure until I build a bunch of model kits with this to realize how good they are. You know what? One last thing is pulling off nubs. So let's say this is a nub, right? Right, this little extra bit of plastic, pulling it off a molding runner. Yeah. So see, I took the nubs off for sure, but now I'm actually taking off the plastic. So once that happens, you gotta start jumping up to a smoother one and cleaning it up again. Okay, well, yeah, it definitely cleans up a nub easily, but it's actually, you know, removing a lot of extra. So those glass nanophiles, I've mentioned those many a time. I do find them quite effective because they tend to only remove the nub. because the abrasive is recessed, right? The holes are recessed, so most of the flat glass just slides over the plastic, but anything that falls into those holes gets cut off. So I still say this is actually probably the best thing going. I use these to knock off nubs, and then I've been using this to clean up the putty of seams, and that's what I think I'll use these for. I'm not going to really use sandpaper to knock off nubs. I find the nanofile to be better. That's just me though. Everyone has their own way of doing things, of course. Okay, well, hopefully this helped you decide if you want to maybe buy these or not. Yeah, I'll leave a link on AliExpress if you like to use that website, but I'm pretty sure you can buy these anywhere. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next tool related video.